Yeah, we're still connecting to our other outlets that we are streaming to. Maybe we need a few minutes. But, anyways, this is Tech Humanizers, episode 3. I'm Anna.
I'm Conrad, and we are radically honest about the technology and startup world.
Yeah, we try to be 100% honest, but honesty comes with opinions, I guess, in current world. So yeah, hope you're having a great week and you are getting your second coffee that we suggest that you do.
I'm getting my
We
third
already,
one
yeah,
from
Connor is
the
getting a third one.
from the
Really nice cup. Does it
yeah,
say Vilnius or?
it's from Philadelphia. It was the
Okay, I
it
thought
was
that.
the
Okay.
I think Christmas village in Philadelphia when I was traveling from Washington to Philadelphia to New York once last year.
Okay, good one. Actually, this is exactly the point that we are looking into because we are here to talk to founders who are spread thin between US operations and European R&D or headquarters. That's exactly us. So
Definitely,
let's start.
I've been researching this. For example, when we were looking at Lovable or other companies, that's very funny. They are headquarters in Europe, but still their registration and taxes still Delaware.
Okay, and do you think that it's their main business or it's some sister company? Do you know this one?
Yeah, in terms of Lovable, the main registration is unfortunately in the US, but the operations headquarters are in Europe. So, um, according to my research, I might be wrong,
Okay.
but
Right. Okay. So if we started and touched on Lovable, I guess we can talk about actually Lovable as a really profitable business because these days they have almost $3 million per employee. Because at the moment, according to our research, according to my research, AI based, of course, not that trustworthy though. Anyways, they have around 146 employees and they are making almost 3 millions per employee. What do you think about it?
I mean, this metric, I hear it a lot among investors and other founders that now the gold standard is 1 million per employee yearly recurring revenue. And this became the gold standard
Okay.
because of Lovable, and other 11 labs. 11 labs also have 500 million and 450 employees. So, in my opinion, you know, the whole startup culture is changing. The how to approach recruiting a person who can build such amount of revenue that earlier you would have to need like 15 or 20 people. Yesterday I was even listening to computer science course at Stanford, and uh, Dan, who is the CEO of Y Combinator now, he said a founder should be able to perform the work that 1 or 3 years ago 500 or 1,000 people would be able to do. All the recruiting tasks. Also, I was listening to Garbati 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago. He said how he recruits these people that are AI native. So they are like, for example, the recruitment tasks is to build a Twitter clone, uh, secure real Twitter clone, and um, putting this, and they're testing it against the agents that trying to attack its results. So as a recruitment task, you give a task to build the whole platform that used to take like weeks or months to deploy, and they are going away from um, vibe coding. Vibe coding is now just a baseline. They got now more fancy term which is agent engineering, and that allows um, to build the code that is production ready quality, but also done much more than 10x speed in coding is like baseline. If you can get to 100x and preserve the quality, that's the person who they want. So I believe that Lovable as well, they are implementing this methodology of recruitment and company culture to have like 100x coding speed and AI native agentic engineers.
Right.
That's the fancy term they are
Yeah.
using now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like fancy because this vibe coding thing that Karpathy introduced, it got so flooded with all the, I would say, crappy things. And everyone is a vibe coder, everyone is like a programmer, but it's not. And actually, what agentic engineering is, what it implies, I guess, is that you have sort of knowledge around the system, around how it is working, around how actually it is working in the real world. Because otherwise, this is really like vibe coding stuff, and anyone can vibe code, but should they? Is the main question. Like, why and
Yeah,
what to
definitely.
build?
That's funny what Garbati said in the same interview like 2 weeks ago. First of all, that he never felt so behind in technology, even though
Exactly. That's what everyone feels.
he's the one who was like inventing those like self-driving cars in Tesla. The OpenAI, starting OpenAI, now moved to Claude, and he's feeling behind. So how we should feel now?
Yeah, I feel like the smarter the person is, the more aware one is, and definitely feels how the reality works. And we all, I guess, feel the same. The more hours you spend, probably the less FOMO you get. I mean, spend vibe coding or doing agentic engineering. Hopefully, I'm not an engineer, so I
I,
wouldn't say that I do agentic engineering. I still think of myself like a vibe coder, but we'll see.
but you know, the key lesson from this lecture from me was both for technical people and for managers that still the high quality thinkers, operators, still these skills are needed, but they do change, bro. Because programmers and builders always, from even before the internet, selected the best tools available to do their job well and get this, clean code approach, approach to building systems
Yes.
that actually works and are
Yes.
unbreakable. And they now just have to select from different tools and adapt very, very quickly. And same goes to the, you know, managers because you cannot just give somebody a task to build a simple thing because everybody can do it. Now you have to invent new recruitment tasks, new, you know, I'm having this struggle even now when I'm recruiting people now and I'm looking for AI native people. So you have to be super creative in inventing those tasks.
Yes, and actually, this term AI native, no one knows what it really means. People always, and that should be the main question. When you say, I'm looking for AI native people, smart people would ask you, what do you mean by AI native? It can be either you are like, super cool, super advanced with Claude Code and you are coding, or you are only touch the chat thing, like project thing, or you are already creating the systems and switching between models from open source, for example, to APIs that are actually getting more and more expensive because these days Anthropic is getting profitable and they are giving us the real price and they are splitting, as we mentioned last time, they're splitting their subscription between chat and between anything agentic. So Claude Code will be
Yeah,
much more expensive
yeah, of course,
June 15th.
the cost is the issue, but I would love to answer the question because it's in my head all the time what I mean by AI native. First of all, nobody
Yeah.
is AI native because it's just happened 3 years ago. I mean,
Okay.
I remember GPT-1, GPT-2, they were not popular. Um, so you have, I would say, you have two different categories of people. The ones as us, we had our practices. We've been in tech for the last 10 years
Yeah.
or even more. uh, and we have new set of tools, and we have this. We remember the old era pre-AI, and we have the new people who were entering the professional. I was like I have employees that started their career 2 or 3 years ago when they were doing their uh, bachelor or master during AI era. So these people are real AI native, and I am actually learning from them a lot. So in my
That's actually really cool. I like this idea.
like experience, I love blending those two approaches. So expert who were builders and operators before, so builders and managers before, and the new kind of new blood of builders and managers who are learning in this era, right?
Hmm. Right, right. And but the question of who is an expert, we don't know this one because the world is changing, you know, who can validate sort of this might be a person who can validate the answer of AI in a very expert way. But is that even possible? Because the pace of change is so fast these days, and it is really hard to say um, who is it? I feel like it's the most adaptable person who can really play around and find ways not to validate probably with the knowledge like in my head, but find trusted sources that can be connected and you validate the output.
I mean, still fundamental principle doesn't change. The physics and the world works, and how the human between each other works. There's another type of very, similar revolution that was with computers, with internet. Now we have similar with AI, but still humans do interact with each other in certain way, computer or
Yes, they do, but it is also changing the way people interact with each other and us sort of unlearning being a human being and connecting in a real way. I think that I mentioned this story with my friend who works in tech, and she's a millennial, and her colleagues are Zoomers. And she says, okay, like during the weekend, we will go to the park and like get something and stuff. And they are asking, how do you organize this one? Because it's easy for them, you know, to organize an online game and play together, but they play in their own homes mostly. But organizing this real life activity like this, like we discussed it last time, this IRL products, right, that exist for real life. And this is actually a skill for probably people who are 30-ish something. It doesn't seem like a skill because it comes naturally, because when you grow up you had to, you know, go outside, connect with people, and now kids are very online, I would say. Probably the new laws would fix it a little and make our kids life more real, but it definitely takes time to change
I
it.
don't I don't believe it will work. I mean, I don't believe that the smartest kids wouldn't be able to hack their way into AI tools, and I don't think they should be because if there will be kind of a law prohibiting, maybe social media banning is okay, but if there will be a law banning, you know, people in primary school to don't use ChatGPT, these who will be smart enough to hack out of the system will be the ones in the managerial positions, in my opinion.
We'll see about that. They either can be in managerial positions or they would be as dumb as, you know, because they cannot think on their own.
Maybe both. Maybe both.
Probably. And I don't think that we can, you know, sort of predict these days what happens. Will managers still be there? Probably some agent orchestrators might be there, but it doesn't mean that you need to, you know, use ChatGPT when you're in primary school. I'm a really pessimist about this one. I don't think that kids should use it because it's not trustworthy. and AI companions are not trustworthy, and the suicide levels are as high as crazy in the last 15 years when social media appeared, and AI is even worse. So before you can control it properly and understand what's under the hood, I would say it's impossible. And many experts in AI, like uh, Demis of Google, he says that actually GPT-based AI came too early. We have, I mean, there are different stories and gossip about why
Yes.
it came that early, but most of the people say that it was too early. So it means that kids are definitely not allowed to use it. And I hope that all the lawsuits that Meta had last year would stop them from creating this. Oh my God, I cannot even imagine this one because there are like texts from uh, Zuck who says that sort of allowing the Meta company create bots that use like sensitive content and sort of speaking to young kids, to teenagers. I think it's crazy for someone who has kids and does not allow them to use phones, by the way.
Oh,
So yeah,
but your kid is 4 years old, right?
mine is 4 years old. Yes,
So
he's
how long will you prevent him from using phones, social media, AI?
as long as I can. I feel like I love this height sort of movement that he started. He wrote a book called Anxious Generation, and now he's lobbying it in Congress and everywhere because it is already a law in Australia, and the ban is still 16 on social media. I mean, what exactly is good about social media for kids? I don't see anything, you know. Social media was supposed, we were sold on the idea that we would be more connected. In reality, we are as disconnected from each other as possible, with awful rates of mental health issues and everything around it. So social media is not helping.
I'm super curious from my because I got this leg of entrepreneur and startup, but also scientist of social interaction. So because we have those laws in different countries, we can see big scale effects of those laws and how they are implemented. And maybe
Right.
here you I wonder, I'm sure there are those global projects that track the effects of this in various countries, but we can then actually reason. It's like a real life experiment that's happening in different countries, and 5 years from now we'll know.
Yeah, yeah, we will. We will. But there are already lots of research showing that having a cell phone in a classroom is not helping kids to learn. That's why good schools, expensive private schools, forbid having phone on campus. They leave it out, not in the classroom, not in your like, I don't know, pants or your bag, but outside. Because our cognitive load for our brain. Like, you know, the story about Mark Zuckerberg, because he has, I don't know if it's true, but I think it's his story that he has like the same shirts and the same pants for every day, not to, you know, load yourself with another decision. And not taking my phone in my hand is also a cognitive load. If it is in the room, I am already loaded. I am making this decision all the time. And I have no idea how many times I think, should I grab my phone? Should I grab my phone? Cal Newport, who is the inventor of the deep work term, and he says that he does not have anything digital in his home office. He has books and he has that it is a really good influence, and I love his recent article, New York Times. He says that we need to find a way, you know, to train our brain, train it back to be attentive again. And the easiest way that he offers is like reading a few dozens of pages. He's not offering any solutions, but he cites the example of working out and exercise. Because actually, people were not exercising like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, as much as we do. But now we sit all the time and we have to exercise. Otherwise, our health is deteriorating.
But maybe we can utilize those practices of exercising analog world and embed the useful parts of AI in everyday life, in physical objects, in audio interfaces, in toys. Like we have the idea today in my company to from our business card to put a
Yeah.
kind of AI inside, and maybe we can take what's useful for development because we don't forbid toys. Like maybe your kid can have a giraffe that is speaking to him like a real giraffe, and he can be learning from this toy, and this toy can evolve with your child. So maybe not like omni everything AI, but specific analog. Of course, analog things are good, but maybe we can steer this addiction towards digital in the right direction and is powerful. I mean, you basically have the knowledge of your entire world, and you have a child who is 7 years old and wants to know a lot. Why don't? Why wouldn't we find a way to give this knowledge by removing this cognitive load and the current interfaces that are addicting them, right?
I feel like we still need a lot of testing about this one, how good it is, because human beings have to learn from human beings, and it's a completely different type of learning. I know one example that might be maybe a proof of my opinion, because if, sorry about that moment, if you give your, can you hear me well now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. If you are trying to teach your kid another language, like audiobooks is not enough. Your kid should see you speaking. That's the only way to transfer it. I'm not sure about the scientific background of it, but I know that it's really not working. Like just watching cartoons, just listening to audiobooks, this transfer, I feel like the reason might be because I have a major in linguistics, and like majority of the message that we are sending is about our mimics, about our emotion. It's not about words. That is why I feel like this transfer should
Yes,
work like this.
but what if you could have the giraffe or a cat or something? You are interacting with your child, but you can also ask the wise cat living in one of the part of your
Yeah, I
home.
know. I am 100% sure that majority of people would just neglect uh, any any time with their kid. He has the giraffe, and I have like dishes to wash and stuff. So it requires, teaching people how, education works and stuff. Majority of people, they have no time to do it. And, just throwing things at them like AI now, it's now working really well. Like, AI companions for teens, total disaster, complete disaster. And these like AI girlfriends, um, I don't want to even start on this one because I can talk for hours because I feel like
Uh,
it's
that's
totally
very
crazy.
it's very interesting because the market forces somehow drove us in this direction of these AI girlfriends and what for teens? What you were saying for teens?
Yeah, it's a complete disaster because
Yeah.
there are cases of suicide and, of course, addictions. Because young brain is not ready, to understand that it's not real human being. And this psychothentic thing, whether you are a teen or an adult, when AI always agrees, you expect people to always agree. But relationship is messy. People hurt each other all the time. And the goal is to, adapt to it. That's humane thing. is to get hurt, be hurt, and still stay in the relationship. When you are hurt once and you leave, that's when you get AI girlfriend, and that's pretty much it. And that works because people do not want to get hurt. I know this. I understand this. I'm an introvert. And still, I mean, the goal is to somehow, find the strength inside and go out there and be sort of vulnerable and ready to get hurt because otherwise relationship doesn't work and you do not grow. That's how you grow as a person. There's no other way. AI will not fix it.
Definitely. It's amazing what you say about. I mean, you have stake in the game because you have a child which is 4 years old, and you don't want him to
Yes.
be kind of.
You see this gray hair? That's a child, that's a parent that does not use phone to, raise a kid. This is when you sort of yourself, you are the entertainer, you are everything. You do not use phone for anything. It comes with a price, like everything in life. But I don't know, totally worth it for me, I guess. Maybe I will think differently in some time, but
It's interesting how we differentiate our private life from what we do in business because we optimize much different things. Here we want to optimize human being, and in I wonder, for example, for the employees, for example, if are employing a person would use AI, and this will influence employees as well. I mean, if a person, because I'm doing it at the moment as a life experiment in my company, I'm not afraid about us 30, 40 years olds. We learned
mm-hmm.
our way of doing business but what if I'm recruiting 19 years old and I'm asking them to use AI tools for everything? So we should be mindful for that kind of new generation of employees as well, new generation of founders.
I think, I think it's my completely opinionated about this one. I hate when people use AI, in this super beginner way, when they send you like long text and they expect you to read it. That's what they should never do. If whether you are 90 or 19, that's about ethics. I think that we will at with time develop some sort of code of ethics. Like Slack created this scheduling ethic. So you are not sending a Slack message, maybe you do, startup people do. When you're in founder
I
mode,
sent
you still
message at
do.
I'm sending message
But
at 3 a.m. unfortunately, but
yes, what I tend to do with myself, I tend to make myself schedule. I mean, it's just one movement, and the person can see it Monday morning, not Sunday night, because I do not expect anyone to answer me on a Sunday night. Maybe if it's a co-founder who is like totally skin in the game and we decided that we are doing it, yes. But if it's an employee that is not expecting it and is on a salary, I hate when people do it. I think it's very insensitive and inhumane.
I mean, I have different phases in my life as a founder and co-worker, but now I'm in a phase of sending messages at 3 a.m. on Sunday. But, uh, but you know, I don't think it's. I think the new. I mean, scheduling what you mentioned is super important, but even more important is the how we train people to use AI. And when you said about this ethics of sending the long messages, it's not only about ethics, but about um, I would say reason because we got like those uh, resumes or AI generated, and I'm if you are sending me AI generated stuff, make it good. I mean, build a Twitter, build me the new ChatGPT or something. AI generated CV is not like something that I would like to receive. If somebody is using AI, I would expect somebody to use it in a creative way that show the added value of a person. I don't want just a text. I can generate the CV myself. If I'm recruiting somebody, And how I would like to teach people to recruit other people is to find the ways of creative use of AI and creatively orchestrating what's available, right?
Yeah, I actually like what I think I'm on this pessimistic side again, but I like what Joe Hudson of The Art of Accomplishment says. With all AI optimization and stuff, I I'm totally on it. I'm totally using everything and even teach people to use AI mindfully and responsibly. But anyways, what he says is that this is still about human relationship and about attention and contribution. So it really the output after you invest time in answering an email would be totally different if you are just shooting AI generated answers. That's a hypothesis from the Art of Accomplishment. And Joe Hudson is a coach for executives at OpenAI. I will show it because I love Art of Accomplishment. I
So what
think
exactly
it's
would you recommend instead of shooting AI generated images? So what should I do? What should other founders do?
prioritize heavily. Well, some of it might require, if it's, I don't know, some operational stuff that just requires an answer, setting up your personal system that knows everything about you, that can create sort of an okay-ish answer, even if you're using AI. But if this is about human relationship, I am definitely against using AI for this one because that is really weird. So, yeah, Joe is coaching the executive team behind OpenAI, Google, and everything. That's him. I really love his approach. He is all about this human relationship. He is actually an ex-VC, so not a stranger to tech, definitely. So, yeah,
Oh, by the way, you know that there is this. I wonder what will
yeah.
be at the tech week at because they're organizing a tech week at the East Coast this week. This week is Boston. Next week is New York.
Yeah.
A76Z.
Yeah. They are a media company these days, right? They provide lots of
Yeah,
content,
yeah, definitely.
blogs and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that is cool. So let's get back to some news, right? So what we wanted to talk about today is definitely this Anthropic thing. We talk about Anthropic every time. Sometimes I feel sorry about it because, it feels like an Anthropic podcast. But what you will do if Karpathy has joined Anthropic, that's big because choosing sides for a person like this one matters a lot. And some people think that he is the most respected independent AI educator alive. If you haven't seen his YouTube videos on
I
how
mean,
LLMs work, go
I've
ahead.
seen his, I've seen them this night. Actually, at 1 or 2 a.m. before today's
Yeah.
podcast, I was watching Carpathian.
Okay. Really? Okay. I mean, what will you do if you are in tech, right? And the content is really brilliant, even for non-tech people, even for less tech people, I would say. So, you were watching, maybe you have some insights you want to share about this one?
I mean, only about when you said about this agent engineering and what's expected now.
Yes.
What can we do? What can we do with the code right now that the vibe coding is no longer the accomplishment? When it was the beginnings. I don't know when it actually started. Half year ago, 1 year ago, when you were starting vibe coding, but now it's not an accomplishment to build a website. You can do it in 10 minutes, no problem. Or the platform like build a Twitter or YouTube, you can do it in 1 day.
Yeah, sure, but this actually a post by Karpathy, I'm not sure that I can find it now. No, but in December he posted really that vibe coding started working in December 2025.
Oh,
Before
so
it was not.
I'm not. I'm not so wrong then about it. Those
Yes,
six
of
months
course.
ago.
Yes, yes, like half a year, and in AI age is like eternity. I don't know, lots of time. I mean, and yes, we are adapting it. We are there to play around.
And
All
already
right
became
then.
a standard. So it already became a standard. Like everybody can build
Yeah,
a
of course.
website. So
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
wonder. I wonder what's next. I mean, wonder what's when this agentic engineering will be a standard and will be next paradigm.
Well, it is already.
The things.
I think so. Absolutely sure. Like, see, Kieran actually here, he works at Every. I have this first comment on this one. And he created the approach. It's called compound engineering. And this is like agent-oriented development. He is a cool developer. I think he's based in Europe because Every is based in New York, but he is maybe from Sweden or something. He
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
say, but
Look at this boss. Look at this boss on the down. That's actually what me and Marek, this one.
this one?
My life as yeah, I'm just joking because he was on the beach. You know, that's actually what I'm planning with my co-founder to go on the kind of vacations for because for Saturday and Sunday, but we would probably go to the swimming and put the agents to do something and then go back.
Right. So, anyways, uh, this video is from the Think Weeks that we also mentioned last time. Every's doing it, and Bill Gates, I guess, introduced it in 80s. And this is a way to kind of pause, stop, breathe in, breathe out, and start working. And as ever is a media company, they are sending their best articles during the Think Week. They're not creating anything new. Yeah, and this is where this video comes from.
I love the idea. I mean, I love the idea, and I will be implementing this. I mean, we have our we don't call it Think Week, but we are giving things like that.
Yeah, I also want to recommend because there's a repost a few days ago. There was this interview, uh, Dan Shipper, and he said a really cool thing about SaaS stocks, like that they would be growing because now they say that it's SaaS apocalypse, but we'll see about that.
Really,
If you wanna,
really,
yes, yes, yes. I really like this interview. It's a recommendation. We won't discuss it now. You can watch it on your own and shape your opinion. But a year ago, Dan was interviewed by Lenny already, and all his projections came true. So maybe this year we can also benefit from what Dan thinks. But anyways, you
interesting.
should
I
decide on your
wouldn't,
own.
I wouldn't bet on. It's not the investment advice, but I wouldn't bet on
Oh,
size
you wouldn't? Okay,
anymore.
no, not investment advice. We're not in investment or financial anything. But yeah, I think that we can maybe switch to this idea behind AI native founders these days, and this one that I am sharing is the playbook by Anthropic, a recent one, and you can play around with it. It's actually quite good.
Actually, can we go through real quick what are they covering? Because that's the first time I'm seeing this, and I'm super curious.
Yeah, it's like always, basic idea stage, MVP stage, launch stage. What is changing? How to go faster? How every step is changing, I would say, and what you can do at each step, and the resources as well, and of course, Cloud Code and everything under the hood. So, I know that you wanted to share about going AI native, right? Would you wanna tell us what do you think about this one? Because you are making it in your company, right?
What do you mean? The it's
Going
about
AI
the.
native inside of the
Oh yeah,
team.
yeah, 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 yeah. You know, very interesting. I would love to see the Claude playbook that you were showing me, and then the size of the teams change a lot because on one side we have this Y Combinator CEO saying that a founder should do 500 or 1,000 people job every
Mm-hmm.
day with all those agents. On the
Yes.
other hand, having like 10 of those employees can give you 10,000 employees powerhouse. Uh,
Yeah,
and that's what
that's
actually
so
what
true.
we are building. For that, you need like very good AI. We're actually implementing our Mistral inside of Company on the Mac Mini because
Okay.
it's much more secure on European servers. Donald Trump
Mm-hmm.
cannot access Mistral easily, because the unfortunate reality of US law is that the federal government can access all of the company's resources, um,
Yes.
and they cannot access European resources. And Mistral found its niche in secure local European businesses, and it's still lagging behind in big research. But I've seen some good reviews about in coding and also in UX research, for example, that it may be more like Notebook LM style um, analysis or Perplexity style
Mm.
analysis. So I haven't tested it yet, but I would love to put more effort into exploring this.
Yeah, I think this is there is a way. Many experts, including I guess Demis of Google, he says that OpenAI, that's a really nice area of myself. Um, Open source AI can really be a way for Europe to get more independent and for this race actually between US and China to be sort of not not that um, critical because it's like between two sides, and if open source works quite well, it's like getting some sovereignty and independence to all of
You
us.
know,
So,
even this I remember this Pentagon procurement of AI tools. So besides being the five Anthropic, they're using Claude, they're using Gemini, they're using ChatGPT, but what they were looking for open source. So I was thinking that that would be a very interesting twist if Europe would export open source AI models to American Army, for example. That would be
hmm,
interesting
we'll see about that. They are
development.
definitely playing around with everything that's out there in the market. And yeah, I really like concerning this one and the usage, this news about new type of
Oh
investment.
wow, that was a big one, yeah. Last week.
Yes, yes. So, Sam Altman offering OpenAI tokens to every Y Combinator startup in the current batch in exchange for equity. And as we know, that Anthropic is increasing their prices, it's getting more and more, I should say, attractive now, right? Because model companies are ruling the world. And as I've heard, I was listening to this new podcast recently, and Paul Graham was the guest there, and he said that yes, model companies can actually build anything at some point and become the only ones that are creating startups with AI agents. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, he just walks into the room and says that for 168 companies that he will invest in all of them, offering them tokens. So it's a new currency. Super funny.
Yeah, but it's much needed currency, I guess. And it's a good incentive for using it in a more optimized and proper way, not to use Opus 4.7 for, I don't know, quick translation like I do all the time because I'm always in a hurry. Because AI gave us the tools, but it made us so busy that I feel like I am super busy all the time, like always.
But
And that is totally crazy.
but from other perspective, it's very interesting how they called it tokens, and kind of the whole society kind of accepted this called tokens. It's very similar to money, so it's not real
Well, it
tokens. It's
is.
like computing
Isn't it
power.
the money of today? Isn't it the money of
I
today?
mean, but we just accepted the metal. We also earlier accepted Bitcoin money as well. Now we're accepting token
Mm.
money, right? It's
Well, I
invented.
wouldn't say that we definitely accepted the the Bitcoin money.
I'm
It's
saying that is another trial of putting another currency while all the margins. Really, what you're buying is the computers that are living somewhere in data centers. You're buying
yeah.
physical computing power and some AI model and weights on top of that, and the margins are much bigger. So I can imagine me buying 100 computers and building my own weights there, and it will be much, much cheaper than buying these tokens in terms of currency, right?
Not quite. I guess it depends on what you're using for. Developing your own thing is sort of on the long run, it will be cheaper, but developing, if it is not your business, doesn't look like, like a deal to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Many
you're
people
right.
on Twitter say like, okay, buy API and do it fast. When you need it, you can develop it. Maybe it's not that a good advice but startups are normally not that, equipped to go after long term, but we'll see about that. Anyways, what I'm sharing now is this podcast, is a new podcast, Disaster Proof, and they talk to Paul Graham and Jessica Livingston. They founded Y Combinator, and I really like this conversation because it's quite on the positive side. Yes, they say that model companies can build startups instead of us founders, right? Very soon, actually.
Or instead
But
of
these days,
countries.
instead of countries, what do you mean?
So, no, no, I'm just, I mean, the scale at which they are, Anthropic has the valuation very close to Poland GDP. Um, so,
Okay, 40 million
they could,
people versus Anthropic. How many people work at Anthropic, I wonder?
yeah.
That's actually nice. Yes, yes, it is. It seems like countries, or maybe everything's going to change. Maybe tokens are already the currency that we are
Yeah,
kinda
they
using.
they are
But still, the
they
AI adoption is not that high, actually, these days. Not so many people are using it to call it a currency,
I
a
mean
world
it's
currency.
it's uh, it's super widely used in the richest part of the population, the
Yes, yes, this is
programmers,
what
managers, business.
Yeah. This is what Scott Galloway in his recent interview said that AI is cool for rich people who use it, and it's not that good for middle class and regular people.
So we are creating. Sorry for reframing your story, but so assuming we are building this another anthropic country with its own token currency and the trillion valuation. So you were saying that this anthropic country can build startups of their own, right?
What do you mean, Anthropic? Come again?
Because you said that maybe this anthropic will create startups, not us, right? Or
It's
Claude.
not Anthropic, but any model company can create any startup now because they're already doing it. Like Deep Research is a startup. The cases that they see, they're trying to adopt them because they see everything that people are actually doing, right? And the funny thing is that um, the funny thing is that they can, but they do not have enough resources for today. Still not enough resources because
But
it's different business. If they want to, they can.
yeah, if they would like, if one of those company would have the kind of rebellious approach now, okay, let's forget about data privacy. Let's stop now. Let's just steal all of those ideas and implement them. That would be very interesting approach. You know, forget about revenue from users. Now we have all the ideas of the world.
They already have all the ideas of the world because, especially in the beginning, I guess not many people cared about privacy and sent everything to like ChatGPT in the beginning and then Claude, and this is what you should care about. And uh, the best way is to use local models, run it on your at least laptop. It's quite easy these days, and you can do it. And anonymizing all the data that you have. That's a very easy thing, even if you're using API at the end. But anonymizing it is a good way to do
Yeah,
it
and you
on
can,
your device.
of course, you can anonymize it using LLMs as well, but the local ones, right?
Yes, exactly. Open source, local ones, run on your device. That's the easiest way these days. Okay, now, do you have any more news you would love to discuss?
I mean, just about these events like one, I'm really curious because me and my company are going to this 11 Labs Summit this Monday, and next
Okay.
Tuesday I will tell you what are they bringing. You know, we're discussing should we mention this or not, but they're still the biggest Polish company from the from the region, and the growth is like I I think they are going, you know, to be a very big one. I mean, there are
Right.
11 billion now. I would assume 22 billion next year, and I would assume December or January for $1 billion annual revenue. That's my assumption.
Yeah, the only thing is that they are not a Polish company, technically.
I mean, the founders are Polish. That's my. But they are European. But they are European one, right? I mean, they're
UK.
registered in the UK. Yeah.
And UK is not
So that's.
European Union, so yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
technically,
I
that is Europe.
I don't believe in Brexit. I mean, they're still in our.
Yeah, whatever you do, it's, I mean, in terms of operations, yeah. I've heard we won't, I guess, get into it now, but I haven't read this, but there was this article that it's getting into the idea of UK coming back to European Union at some point, but we'll see about that. I guess it's not them who are discussing it. I guess that they sort of accepted it all and they're fine with this one.
Yeah. Yes. If you're still with us here at the last 5 minutes, give us the feedback, and we'd love to hear back from you. Was it useful? Would your I mean, I enjoyed our conversation today very much. I don't know about you,
You
but
mean, are you asking the audience or me?
both.
Okay, yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one, definitely, definitely. So yes, give us some feedback, ask us any questions, or if you want to come over as a guest, just DM myself or Conrad.
Yes, we are planning, guys, 4 weeks from now, I believe, end of June or sometime around that. Every Tuesday, noon, Warsaw time.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, then. So have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Get your second coffee and come talk with us about the news in tech.
We are dehumanizers. See you.
Bye bye.